Yeah, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Today I'm going to be talking about another unfortunate incident involving a female prison officer, a lady called Rachel Martin, who was serving at His Majesty's Prison Guy's Marsh. She was apparently, and she's just been convicted at Bournemouth Crown Court of smuggling goods into prison, into HMP Guy's Marsh, for an inmate, a 42-year-old inmate called Raymond Abraham, who has an extensive, long record of criminal activity. And Rachel Martin, aged 25 years, so she's 17 years his junior, and she's been seduced, manipulated, and required by this individual to smuggle goods into him. She was smuggling in not only mobile phones, which she wasn't convicted of that, but obviously he had a mobile phone, because it was proved that over 900 messages on WhatsApp, whatever, were received by Raymond Martin, between Raymond Martin and Raymond Abraham and Rachel Martin, between them. And they were not just messages of "How are you, my darling?" They were not that. They were explicit sexual messages and videos and you name it. This was straightforward interaction, and Rachel Martin was receiving money from sources outside of the prison, that she was being paid. She had in excess of £10,000 paid into her account by friends and associates of Raymond Martin, and now she's been sentenced to 16 months imprisonment. And apparently the Ministry of Justice is saying that you received proper training and that you have failed and you've let down the system. In actual fact, listen to me, Ministry of Justice, listen to me, Home Office. Basically, you're endangering young women. Apparently she's been diagnosed with ADHD and all sorts of psychological problems. And like they say in their advertisements, the official advertisements for the Home Office, they have female prison officers serving at prisons, standing up in front of cameras, official advertisements for the Home Office saying anybody can be a prison officer. They say that. Well, let me tell you, Ministry of Justice and Home Office, not everybody can be a prison officer. You need to have a very determined outlook on life. You need to be capable of dealing with very persuasive, manipulative inmates, and you also need to be able to defend yourself. You put an 18, 23, 25-year-old female into an adult male prison with violent, manipulative alpha males, they can't do it. Who is responsible for that? I don't believe that an individual like Rachel Martin, who has now been diagnosed with ADHD, etc., various psychological problems, has been properly assessed before being placed into that position. I believe that the Ministry of Justice and the Home Office are responsible. There's been a completely inefficient system of risk assessment. They're just throwing vulnerable individuals into the melting pot, and when they fail, which they are destined to fail, let me tell you that, because I've seen grown men, seriously experienced individuals, fail when presented with bribery, corruption, threats and intimidation. I tell you what, why don't you send some of your soppy bloody think tank boys in there with a big hat and a set of keys, see how they go on with it. See if they come up with these daft ideas of sticking young girls into male prisons. Because believe me, it's a recipe for disaster. That's the poor lady, Rachel Martin, life destroyed, aged 25 years. She's now going to prison. She's been sentenced to 16 months. and the criminal justice system is on the meltdown. The only reason that they're saying anybody can be a prison officer, the reason is because anybody has to be these days, because they're only paying them. They're paying prison officers less than car park attendants. So if you want a nice steady job, get 30,000 a year, go and be a car park attendant. Why risk your life plodding the landings in places like Strangeways, Wormwood Scrubs or HMP Guy's Marsh? Why do that? Because believe me, the pressure is at times quite intense, and unless they absolutely know that they're wasting their time with you, they will continue to put the pressure on. With me, I mean, once or twice I had to deal with it, and did so in a robust manner, shall we say. Of course, word gets round that you're not for sale, and that's how it remains. But obviously, some effectively innocent young female is very vulnerable. No risk assessment, no possible thoughts about what's going to happen should they throw them in the deep end, and there they go. As you sow, so shall ye reap. Yeah. I also see, listen to John here, yeah? I also see that Dominique Raab is saying that the prisons are full. There's no spare capacity. How ridiculous is that? 100,000 people imprisoned. You've got to say to yourself, why are they imprisoned? They're not in prison for the safety of society. They're there because the government and the people that are making the rules for society insist on certain rules being maintained. Pay for the council tax. You don't pay for your council tax, well, I'll put you in prison, yeah? Pay for your television licence. Don't pay for your television licence, put them in prison. The prisons are going to fill up. People haven't got any money. It's the cost of living, yeah? I mean, I personally don't go shopping myself, but my wife tells me it looks like 17 to 30% rise in the costs of actual purchasing basic ingredients, basic food stuff. I personally take my grandchildren to places like McDonald's. From being a cheap snack meal, it's gone up. It's cost £8-10 a go now. I might not eat it myself. I haven't had any for nearly 40 years. I wouldn't touch the stuff, but the grandkids like it. But it's expensive now. It's not cheap anymore. But still there is pressure on the families to buy that for the children. So that's going to cause problems in society. The whole thing is falling apart. I'll tell you what they've got to do. Listen to me, Ministry of Justice, yeah? Have a word with the government, and when it comes time for the coronation of King Charles II, King Charles III, yeah, you've got to actually announce an amnesty for all prisoners who've got less than 6 months to serve, or 3 months to serve. Make a decision. Come on, grow a pair of bollocks, lads. Yeah? Let them out. They aren't going to do any harm. All right, they might not pay the television licence for a bit, but how is that going to harm society? Basically, it isn't. And when you think about it, why should the government charge me a tax, effectively it is a tax, to watch Graham Bastard Norton? Eh? They're paying Graham Norton, I don't know, £1 million a year or something like that, to pawn something down. I object to that. I mean, I won't watch that. You'd have to tie me to a bastard chair. Seriously, it is not the responsibility of the government to entertain me, or supposedly entertain me. It'd be more like bloody torture, wouldn't it? Seriously, that's the problem. Also see that the Charles Bronson documentary last night, all the reviews are saying that he isn't doing himself any good doing this. I don't believe he is. I mean, talking about how wonderful it was to meet the Cray twins and all that, it's not been wonderful for anybody meeting them horrible, obnoxious, mentally ill bastards. They didn't spend their time in Broadmoor, because they were benefiting society. They were in Broadmoor because they were murdering people, raping and buggering young boys. That's why they were in Broadmoor. So it's no good Charlie Bronson saying, or Charlie Salvador saying, oh, they were wonderful, real diamond geezers. They weren't. They were horrible blots on the face of society, needed to be exorcised, and they were put into prison, and then from the prison into Broadmoor, because even in prison they couldn't conform to the rules, because basically they were a couple of undersized arseholes, and they were. And when it comes to face, not the Cray twins, no. Yeah, they got the gangsters done it, Tony Lambriano and all that lot. But certainly, and I met Tony Lambriano, he's a gentleman, you know, but you could see that there was something behind that smile, you know, that you get the wrong way, then it's pistols at dawn. Listen, the whole world's gone bloody mad. I had a ding dong ding, I'm going to get my song dinger soon, I'm going to get it back. My grandson's coming on Saturday. Yeah, so I'll ask him to find it for me. I'm going to read you a poem because I had a complaint. Larry said he can't stand it anymore. He was sat in the corner of his room cuddling Billy Goat Gruff as I was singing yesterday. So he pleaded with me, no more singing. Well, I'll give you a day off, Larry, eh? And all the rest of you lot who sometimes support me with these, you've got to buy me a coffee, all that stuff, Bob, and yeah, all the rest of it. Catherine, I'm going to read you a song here. This song was featured in 4 weddings and a funeral, I believe, if I remember rightly. This is W.H. Auden, 12 songs. I've got to get my glasses right here. You know, my eyes aren't what they used to be, you know. Somebody sent me a message, said I look like an acidic Jew. Not only against the Jewish people, I quite like them. I've got a lot of clients who are Jewish. Yeah, friends who are Jewish, go to Jewish weddings. Tell you what, the Jewish don't half know how to do weddings. You can, as much as you can possibly eat, as much as you can drink, fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Anyway, the last Jewish wedding I went to. Yeah, this is 12 songs by W.H. Auden. Stop all the clocks, cut off the telephone, prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone, silence the piano, and with muffled drum, bring out the coffin, let the mourners come. Let aeroplanes circle, moaning overhead, scribbling on the sky the message, he is dead. Put crepe bows round the white necks of the public doves. Let the traffic policemen wear black cotton gloves. He was my north, my south, my east and west, my working week and my Sunday rest, my noon, my midnight, my talk, my song. I thought that love would last forever. I was wrong. The stars are not wanted now. Put out every one. Pack up the moon and dismantle the sun. Pour away the ocean, sweep up the wood, for nothing now can ever come to any good. 12 songs by W.H. Auden. It's been a bit rambling this. I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed it. Tales from the Jails, John G. Sutton. Don't forget to get my book, folks. It's there on Amazon. HMP Manchester Prison Officer. Thank you.